live again. We're live again. Okay. Hello po. Tingnan natin yung sasabihin ni Johnny Chang about dito. Titingnan po natin. Okay, let's go listen to him.
About a lot of other stuffies that you guys love. So if you guys like it, what is it? Comment, subscribe. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, guys. That's afterwards.
No, now.
Jump the gun.
No. Tell him now.
Yeah. if
Like,
you guys
comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. Give your firstborn whatever you got to do.
Hey, yeah. Comments been going crazy. You know what was interesting when we had the 1 million follower meetup at the beach. By the way, if you missed it, join the number. When we did that, there was a lot of people that were like podcast listeners.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
There's a couple
crazy.
people that were like, "Yo, I love the podcast." That was the first thing they said.
Whoa.
So
Interesting.
slowly, the audience is expanding, which is
Yeah,
cool.
man. Appreciate you guys for your support. Seriously.
Yeah, and by the time they're listening to this, San Diego was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Hey, but before, did you guys see that tweet that went super viral of the world's smartest man?
Oh,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said that Jesus is real.
Yeah,
right?
so his name is Young Hoon Kim.
He's Korean.
Young
Is he
Hoon-
your cousin?
number one, of course.
Taehamingu?
That felt a little racist just
No,
because my
no,
last name is
I-
Kim.
Yeah.
He's my cousin.
Yeah, hey, man, now you know how I feel growing up in the San Gabriel Valley. Hey, Chino, is every Cheng Chong Cheng your cousin? I'm just kidding.
They're not?
No.
Oh. But anyways, Mr. Young Hoon Kim, he has an IQ of 276, so that's 4 times your IQ. Wait, what is a good IQ?
I don't know. 4 times 0 is still 0. A good IQ is like 120, I think.
Really?
Or like 100.
What is yours? Have you tested it?
I have.
Hey, we should do that. We should vlog and just do an
Yeah,
IQ.
well,
test.
What
I'll
is-
go
what
get
is yours, though?
neuropsych vals.
Dude, I would get such a high heart if I'm smarter than you guys.
What was his? What was Kim's?
276.
275 was mine. He just got me by a little bit.
What was your actual IQ?
I don't remember. It was like 145.
That's
Oh, so
pretty
you're
good.
only 20 above the average?
I think
That's good?
I
I
think
don't know
mine's
the
is
average.
50. I'm a little smarter than a dolphin.
Even he has submitted.
Helps you become like compassionate.
If you could max out on one personality trait, which one would you max out on? I thought about this for IQ, no?
I would say.
Some atheists, and really it's because to become that rich, you low-key have to like atheists. Are they worse than Satan because they don't believe in God? Because at least Satan became a billionaire.
Yes, Paul Mitchell was huge. I think he started one of them. Look him up. Paul DeJoria, whatever.
I was saying at some point you have to
Jean-Paul
step on
DeJoria.
someone's toes and eat someone else's lunch. You have to put out mom and pops out of business. You have to take market share. At some point, to control anything to make $1 billion, you got to do something that's going to hurt someone else. It's just like at some point you're going to eat someone else's lunch. Maybe not, and maybe the comments can prove me wrong, but the point I was making is just that just because you've made a bunch of money doesn't mean you're the smartest or nicest or best person. So just because you see a bunch of super rich atheists doesn't mean they're the model to live after. It doesn't mean they're happy in life. It doesn't mean they did things well or correctly. And then I see this super, super smart guy saying, oh, I believe in Jesus. It's like, okay, that's kind of a pillar of like, there's someone who is somewhat successful that is saying, this is the way, this is the truth. Just somewhat of a relief. It's somewhat of a relief.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So speaking of atheists, are they worse than Satan because they don't believe in God? Because at least Satan believes in God.
Oh man, we're gonna get canceled. We're literally
Really?
Gonna get no, just kidding.
I was like, oh no.
Atheist, what?
Yeah.
Don't talk about me. I don't think it's a comparison of like who's worse. It's I think genuinely speaking, it's kind of like saying somebody who gets 55% versus 49%, like who's the better F? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're both Fs. So I think what it comes down to is just focusing on like believing, right? Like trusting in God. That's the difference. There's people, we can categorize it as Do people trust God or people who don't trust God? They all fall under that standard of I don't believe in God. Is he worse because he doesn't believe in God? No, it's all unbelief at the end of the day. So it's really, instead of like judging somebody worse than Satan, because Satan is obviously the worst, but he actually plants those hearts inside of people to distrust, right? Satan doesn't actually believe, he just knows. So it says in the Bible that he trembles, but he knows God. Belief is different than knowing. Obviously, it says he believes and trembles. The demons believe and tremble, but the word for believe is actually know. So you know how you can know something versus like believe in something? So there's people who are like, let's say a car, right? They know that if you step on the gas, like it goes. If you step on the brake, it stops the car. But like until you jump in and apply that, believe that that's going to happen, then nothing happens, right? It's just knowledge and information, no transformation. So Satan had a lot of knowledge. He was very smart, very beautiful, very, one of the high ranking angels, but he never actually believed in God. Judas is another testament to this. Like he was with Jesus, but he never believed in his power. He never believed that he was the Messiah. He never even really cared about that. All he cared about, because he was a treasurer, was money. So it's like, yeah, you can know, like, look at guys, it's all about Jesus, but they don't actually believe in him. That's why he was able to do what he did, sell them. And what did he actually believe in? He believed in money more than he did in Satan, and the unbelief more than he did in Jesus and God. So yeah, it's not about, comparison, right? Like, oh, we don't compare who's worse, basically. So we're bringing back Afters. It's our live event where we bring online
Of Satan's dirty lies. What's one lie that our generation believes that we have no idea is a lie?
follow your heart. Listen to your heart, follow your heart. Huge thing. It's the root of individualism. It's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Every argument that when I mentor people is always like, especially younger kids, is like, why do I have to do what my parents want me to do? I want to do what I want to do, aka my thoughts, my heart, right? Like, why do I have to listen to people? There was a lady, she's a single parent, and she was like, my daughter just hit 19, and she's like, why do I have to go to college? Like, I'll just do OnlyFans. And it was like, whoa, like, what do I say to that? She's like, she can make a lot more money than me. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, well, that's one of the lies, is follow your heart. So I told her to be honest, right? If you trust your heart and you follow your heart, because she had a boyfriend and she was devastated at 16. And that kind of happens, right? She had a boyfriend and she's like, well, I, lost my virginity to this dude. So like, I might as well just get paid for doing it. Like there was this thought that, and this heart that came into this girl. And I was like, well, what was the heart that led you to even trust in getting with the boyfriend? I was like, you have to tell her this, you trusted your heart that he was good looking. You trusted your feelings that he was cool. You trusted your feelings to even share and lose your virginity to this person. And in the same stroke, like, how did it end up? It ended up sad and miserable, and you felt used and kicked to the curb because kids are young, they're not in control of their flesh. And in the same stroke, Satan is now getting you to follow that same heart to then go into the OnlyFans. And it's like, at the core of it, it's like, follow your heart, and the other side is follow your heart, right? It's like people don't realize that they're trusting themselves either way and following their heart either way. And so, yeah, it's kind of like college, right? Even in college, like, kids will go and I've never been to college, but I've seen. Why is that funny? Why is that funny? Because I'm Asian and I didn't go to college?
Yeah, disappoint.
Oh my God, you very bad.
Very bad.
So when you go to college, right? Who really goes to college? For the listeners, and you guys probably too. Didn't you guys switch your majors? Weren't you like, I'm gonna be this thing, and then like you switch it multiple times? It's because your heart changes. So follow your heart is such a big deception in today's generation. It's like relationships end literally because you didn't validate my feelings that come from the heart, right? So it's like, if you don't make me feel like the way I should be feeling, then you don't love me. And it's like, that's not necessarily the case, So I think that's one of the biggest lies, is like, yes, feelings are real, but they can also be very deceitful, and they're almost never right. I'll be honest. Like, your feelings you'll get that gut feeling, but they'll have like one or two stories like that. overall you'll have a lot of negative feelings, and they're not always right. There's many people, for that one person that said I trusted myself and my gut feeling was right, there's also 100 other occasions where they trusted themselves and they were wrong, and they never talk about that. So yeah.
No, but I wonder why all of society pounds that into people everywhere. Everywhere you look is believe in yourself and you
Yeah.
are special, and it's from every angle. TV, school, but nowhere in school do they just like teach you how to stay happy,
Yeah.
or how to just like live your life to like a traditional sense. It's
Because it's biblical, right? It says in the Bible, like, Satan is the god of this world, and it's a little g, like a lowercase g. So whenever God says like gods or like God, and he's referring to somebody else, it's a little g. When he's referring to himself, it's capital G. So what this means is, like, if Satan is the god of this world and the prince of the power of the air, as they say, it means that he's going to control it and run it his way. So a lot of people are always like, why God? But it's like, you should really be like, oh, it's Satan who did all of this. And even from a young age, we are getting indoctrinated, right? I remember, like, in kindergarten, there was that little monkey cutout that was like hanging and like pointing at you, and underneath it says, believe in yourself, and that's the mantra of the world, right? Like the David Goggins, no disrespect to them, but it's like these people who are motivational speakers, and it's always like, you got to be motivated, you got to be disciplined, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, follow your heart. Songs are made, literally, listen to your heart. All these songs, it's like,
Naka-mute pala ako. So, be careful talaga. Ingat-ingat tayo sa mga, actually, kung Christian ka, so, dapat hindi ka na talaga nakikinig dyan sa mga motivational speaker na yan. Yes, it seems like when you're hearing them, like, totoo naman yung sinasabi nila, pero, eto, pakinggan yung sinasabi ni Johnny. It's like, he's right. Kasi dapat talaga, si Lord ang pakikinggan mo. Tama yung sinasabi nila in the sense na parang wala talagang mali sa sinasabi nila. 'Di ba? Pero biblically, it was wrong.
Like, bro, it's because Satan has his hand in everything, and that's all we're hearing. So that's why it's so hard to distrust yourself, right? When you trust in self, it makes it harder to trust in God. And the whole premise of Christianity is denying of self-denial, and trusting in God. But Satan goes against that. So he's like, no, I'm going to make you trust yourself, so then you become your own God. You lead your own life to misery, basically.
Now we got to make a song.
I know.
Don't trust your thoughts.
Don't trust your thoughts.
Don't trust your thoughts.
Don't trust your thoughts. No, but yeah, it's crazy. And everything is like just paid for you to stay down. I mean, they want you to stay miserable. They want you to stay sick.
Yeah.
Doctors are not preventative. They're only supposed to heal you once you're already sick, but no one teaches you how to stay healthy. It's like,
Yeah.
they don't want you to be happy. People make money when you're down. People make money off of war. It's like,
Yeah.
that's just, they push the agenda. And it's,
Yeah. I know this episode is about patience, but this is chess, guys. We're working your patience because we're not talking about patience yet. Yeah, that's the lesson. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like this whole episode was literally trying my patience.
Hey,
That's the
actually,
lesson.
Actually, I would like to know, number one, what personality trait would you want to max out on, audience? Comment below what personality trait you think is most important. And don't come up with a super nice first thing that came to your head when I first asked the question.
Yeah.
Not a beautiful Johnny or Aaron answer.
yeah.
And then number two, what do you like about these kind of open discussion questions? And if you guys have questions that you guys also wanted to ask Johnny that aren't necessarily tied to a specific theme, drop it in the comments.
Yep.
But before we go on, sorry, one more. I just had we think about like when we talk about like believe in yourself or whatever, there's a lot of like pseudo spirituality in that's in society. And one of the biggest things is, do you know the term like healing your inner child? Do you know what that means?
Yeah. It's a very trendy thing.
Yeah. And so for the audience that doesn't know what that means, like right now, a lot of therapy, I'd say in the last 5 years is like healing your inner child means like all the wounds that you felt as a child, if you were neglected or if you were hurt or whatever it is, the experiences you had as a child, heal those as an adult, and that will basically like make you whole again.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question is healing your inner child a trendy thing or is it biblical?
I think it's a little bit of both, believe it or not. But I think it can be more on the trendy side because it ties into therapy. And therapy is great, but therapy reveals wounds and reveals things, but it doesn't heal things, right? Only God can heal. God is literally the healer, right? So there's a spiritual way to heal things, and there's a emotional, worldly, physical way to heal things, right? So I think it's definitely something that can help, but it usually puts people in like maintenance mode. I literally mentor therapists, behavioral therapists, pathologists, speech pathologists, different people, right? Who have masters in like this therapeutical studies and things like that. And at the end of the day, I have to help them unpack a lot of trauma. I have to help them kind of navigate through all of that and heal it. And I always use scripture. So genuinely speaking, I think like, yes, therapy may reveal, but I don't think it fully, truly heals or doesn't heal as good as like if Christ heals them, right? And yes, inner healing is real, but I think the gospel is the thing that heals everything spiritually. And we know we're not just walking like robotic flesh, right? We have spirit inside of us. When you heal the spirit, it's a trickle down effect. Your mental gets better, your physical gets better, your emotional gets better. I mean, all of that stuff gets better. It says even in Proverbs, right? Like anyone can heal their body, but who can heal from a broken spirit? So many people are rich. They don't really have like emotional issues or trauma even, but like they have a spiritual disconnect, a disassociation with God. And they're just like, that's why they'll ask questions like, oh, why do I have everything and it still feels like I have nothing? Why am I doing everything right and I shouldn't have anything to complain about, and yet I still feel this void inside of my heart? And it's because they're not working on the spiritual side of healing. They have everything else on lock. I had to be patient with myself in a lot of ways because being locked up for so long, being, essayed as a kid, it did something to me emotionally and internally. And I was like addicted to, pornography. I would, when I got out of prison, I was like I just went crazy. You're free. I was locked up from 12 to 25, raging hormones. You're young and you're just like, bro, like I'm free, and I'm around fast women, fast money, and that type of lifestyle. And I think I was very, very struggling a lot with the lustful aspect, just being 100% vulnerable here. And I would ask Pastor, like, I pray so much to God to remove it, but I don't know why God has never removed that from me. And I think I always felt so broken because of that. And I would look at other people at our church, like these little Korean kids who look so like cut and prepped, and they would never struggle. Like, I'm just like, don't you see that big butt girl walking by? And they're like, oh, I don't know anything. Like, it's like, it was wild, I'm like, why am I the one who's just like super lustful and all these people don't like?
You got a big butt radar. Just boing.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, so I would really be frustrated with myself, and I always felt unqualified to preach the gospel. And even after I got saved, like first year or two, like I was just like, man, all I'm thinking about is this, like why can't I break that? So I prayed a lot to God, and believe it or not, he didn't really remove that. I was still like, even in my first year of walk, second year of walk, sleeping around here and there. I would have my little roster, you know what I mean? And just, it would be bad. Yeah. And I would call them over when I was really like, I would fight for like weeks, months, whatever. And then I would like slip into it, and then, yeah.
He said little roster, and he made his hands this big.
I'm like, this little roster.
Yeah, he said I had a little roster.
No,
Man,
no,
that's like
no,
literally
no.
can fit like a football team of names.
No, Jeremy, it wasn't that many people. My goodness. But yeah, I was really frustrated. I was frustrated that I was frustrated. I always felt like I was unqualified. And the one thing Pastor always told me was like, Johnny, if God doesn't like it, he will remove it from you. You don't have to. You just have to be patient. And my next question was always, how? How do I be patient with God though? Like, I'm falling into this. I'm like hedonistic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a dog at times. And why is it like that? Even if I don't do it, I would think about it constantly, you know, as a man. And I'm like, am I hardwired like this? Is it because I was, you know, molested? Is it because I was touched by this woman? And what's going on? And pastor said, you're either that person, Johnny, or you're a new creature. Like, you just don't believe. It's a belief system. You're trying to wait on behavior modification. You're not understanding that it's a belief modification. You need to change your heart. You need to die to yourself. And it's weird. His answer was always preach the gospel. And I was like, what? He's like, when you're hungry, preach the gospel. I'm like, okay. When you're sad, preach the gospel. When you're, feeling lustful, preach the gospel. And I didn't really understand it at first. But little by little, when I started to preach the gospel, my problems that were this big became really, really small. And I started to see, like, man, like, this is kind of wild. And seeing pastor being patient with me then also gave me motivation to be like, okay, I'm going to be patient with myself too. You know, no one's giving up on me. I'm giving up on myself. But at the same time, it was a weird balance because I'm giving up on myself, but I'm also like trying to control parts of my life, which didn't make sense. It was like I needed to fully surrender. And so, yeah, I struggled with it a lot for many years, actually, for 2 years, 3 years. And I was just like, dang, it was painful for me. And then I started to feel this type of love enter my heart through the gospel. I started to see other people struggling with it. And I was like, man, and I started to have a little bit of comparison where I'm like, you know what? I don't struggle as much as this person. There's some people, like, I met this dude who changed my life, man. He was like, bro, I watch porn like 3 or 4 times a day. And I was like,
Super gooner.
What? Super gooner.
Rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers. But I was just like, yo, this is wild, you know? Like, and yet for me, it was like I would stumble here and there. So I was like, okay, it's not as bad. But at the same time, yeah, you are your worst enemy. I was trying to make God, I was trying to fit his timing into my timing. I was like, you need to change me now. I'm Christian now. I need to. But God was always patient with me. And I think he wanted to cultivate that inside of me to be patient. You know, otherwise I'd be judging other people too.
Okay, but on your journey, so when did you have that conversation you just explained about pastor? So you said you struggled for 3 years.
Like early 3 months, I was
So-
already like, pastor,
okay.
I think I ever gives up.
Struggling for 3 years, and you understand like all of says never gonna change. Like, what was the trauma of meeting for you? This like what was the first moment you picked up your phone? Or normally gonna like call a shorty, or you were like creature genuinely don't this verse like let's do that way. Like was it? Did you miss that? Like I didn't do this.
It was weird. It's weird. That's the thing. I would
Hey, oh you.
like I would do it.